Hey guys, doing this is very important. Somebody's wondering if the courts received the financial standard of living documents and information about what my parents had set for me. Obviously, the courts wouldn't cover that up because that would be illegal. Did they hide the documents or something? See, the financial standard of living documents that my parents had set for me is a factual law. Do you understand that? Like, people can get arrested, and they're supposed to get arrested, if I'm not living the financial standard lifestyle that my parents had set for me. Meaning, property, revenues, accounts, trust funds. You guys understand that? And court judges are factually obligated to understand that document. You guys know that, right? Now, somebody might have tried to communicate that, one of my uncles or aunts or something, but, maybe the courts are saying he forgot to send that to the courthouse. Because it is supposed to be forced, if necessary, in reference to my financial standards that my parents had accounts for me. You understand that? It's factual documents. Factual accounts of information, factual standard of financial access that I'm supposed to have to monies and accounts. It is a factual, 100% factual law. Somebody wants that now. One of those big guys, or it might have been one of my uncles, that communicated that he sent the document to the courthouse or something. And wants to know, he sent documents of some type, I guess. But maybe he got too busy, maybe he didn't, but he communicated or something saying that he did. He wants to know what's going on or something. Court judges not understand the documents? And he's also been sending money, I guess, from various locations or something. And the government's been stealing it every single time. My father's going to probably come back to life sometime, in the future. And my mother, too, because they're both frozen. But, they have very high status in reference to my parents. You know that, right? So in reference to the courts, the courts are 100% obligated to make sure that I have received monies. And, it's kind of important, believe it or not, Because, see, when my parents died, the government was not allowed to try to kick me out of my properties because my parents gave me everything. You know that, right? So in reference to the subject, that satellite man snaggletooth me right now, right close to those farm things or whatever they are. But the courts wouldn't try to cover that up now, would they? That big guy, he tries to communicate sometimes. You just don't know who he is. Some of you don't know who he is. Some of you might. Like one of my uncles or something. But don't forget, my dad's going to come back to life. You didn't know. So does the Indianapolis courts or any of the courthouses in America understand the facts of the financial standard of living that is supposed to be forced, if necessary, against people that are blocking me from accounts and property and mansions? Anybody know? Don't forget, my mother and father had very, very high ranking status in America and internationally, of course. Friendly acknowledgments of some things and friendly acknowledgments of factual laws, you know what I mean? those factual laws can be legally forced upon any person blocking me from my mother and father's estates. That's, people can get arrested and prosecuted. People can end up in prison for the rest of their lives because these people's intentions are they're trying to block me forever, obviously. Since they tried to murder me, they were trying to steal everything forever, obviously. And, it's one of those things where the government is supposed to understand. I don't know, my phone holder thing is not working. What's going on with this thing? Actually, a different one, I guess. But anyways, the factual documents is a factual law. Just like my birth identity and driver's license information. Of course, I have a very lengthy birth name because of my parents and grandparents, and I got to carry the family names, But, in reference to the financial standard of living, it has certain minimum amounts of monies that I'm supposed to have access to on a daily basis, which the government has been blocking me. And the courts are obligated 100% to find out which people are blocking me. Which people claim that I had to meet their opinion or their stipulations. Meaning, like, these people tried to control my life and tried to claim that they said that they thought I was not good enough to be the child of my mother and father. But these people was trying to steal my identity, and they were trying to steal my family history, and then they tried to claim that they thought they were a better person to try to claim that they thought they were the child of my parents than me being the child of my parents. And I was born as the child of my parents, and it's, my parents planned my birth, and it is even on record when my parents had planned my birth, of course. Basic information of things, even when I was little, even before I'd gotten injured, obviously. But when I was a little boy, So, my parents had planned my birth. And my grandparents, of course, planned my birth and planned my mother and father to have me. My parents had like a matrimony when they were little, So, my grandparents kind of told my parents way back when, or whenever it was, that they wanted them to have a child, and I'm that child, But there's particular records of information, And the home videos of me, my mother, and father, obviously somebody's hiding those. They need to know the name of the person that's hiding those from being publicly seen in the media, But the point of information, the standard value or the standard quality of life or living that my parents had afforded for me, like accounts, monies, properties, access to properties, is on documents. And the government blocking me, there has to be court cases. And obviously people are dragging their feet on this subject because this has been like 29 years. So, it's some serious fraud of people trying to detour the facts of my identity. And even though I have all the birthmarks and scars and beauty marks that I've had, birthmarks, beauty marks, and scars that I've had, since I was little too, since the Royal Protocol was written, The government has tried to steal birthmarks from my body. They've tried to steal identification of documentation of my anatomy. I mean, like they tried to damage, or they tried to steal beauty marks off my face, and by burning my face with satellites and chapping the face and burning the teeth and all these things that these people have done is prosecutable. The birthmarks that are on my face, like beauty marks, are well documented. And the fact that the satellite man was looking at my face and damaging my teeth, where's those lawsuits? Those beauty marks and birthmarks was easily seen in the mirror. They were easily seen in reference to any person that looked at me in person, within like 3 or 4 feet or whatever, easily seen, maybe 5 or 6 or 7 feet away. I don't know. Depends on some beauty marks or birthmarks, probably at least 6 feet away. You know, they'd be able to see a beauty mark that was on my lip, beauty mark that was on one of my cheeks, my face, and the beauty mark that was on my lip right here, I guess, that the government man has burnt off.